I wanted to tell you a quick story today. So my dad, he had his business for over 20 years. And every so often, he'd have trouble with his staff. Lateness, poor performance. He even had an occasion where someone had their hand in the till. Now, none of this is anything new to any of us who've worked in HR. But to my dad, this was all new territory. He had no idea how to handle any of it. He tried shouting and screaming at people. My dad can be an angry man. But that obviously didn't work. And then he tried cajoling people and tried putting his arm around their shoulder. That didn't work either. Finally, he decided to get some advice from his mates. Ring Aircast, mate. Ring Aircast. Now, those of us in the HR profession know what a great job Aircast do, but how limited the advice is. And they point out options, they don't really give solid advice. And that's not very useful for someone like my dad, who has got someone with their hand in the till. And when you've got that situation, you just want someone to tell you what to do. You haven't got time for Aircast, you haven't got time for options, you haven't got time for endless phone calls with a variety of different agents each time you call back. Still, ringing Aircast was better than doing nothing, right? And for over 20 years or so, that was his only solution. Worse still, this was the advice that his mates gave him. His mates in the same trade as him. Mates who had their own staff and their own staff issues. Mates who knew nothing about managing people and they just wanted a successful business. Mates who didn't go into business for themselves, just to manage staff. Ring Aircast. That wasn't the worst advice he got, though. The award for worst possible advice goes to this little gem. Just point them out to me, mate. I'll get the boys round to do them over. Worst HR advice ever, right? So those were my dad's options. Ring Aircast or get the boys round. Now, he had no idea that independent HR consultant existed. And nor did I, who was his on-call HR advisor for 5 or so years. The funny thing is, he was so desperate for these employee problems to go away, he'd have gladly paid £200 an hour to be told how to deal with these issues. More if needs be. He just wanted rid of the headache. And it's the same for his mates. They would have gladly paid the money to get rid of the problem. But not a single one of them knew about solo HR consultants either. And the thing is, none of them would have been interested in hiring a HR consultant. Not my dad, not his mates. HR is a fancy term for fancy big businesses. All my dad and his mates wanted was an emergency hotline that they could call and get advice on what to do. And I'm sure that once that relationship was built with my dad, then conversations could take place about upselling other HR services. That'd be the same for his mates. So what does all this tell us? Well, there is a gold mine out there just waiting for you to get to work in the right way. I mean, the opportunities are endless. My dad's business and all the upsells which could have been brought in, his mates and all the upsells which could have been brought in, their mates and all the upsells which could have been brought in. Do you see how this multiplies, right? And before you know it, you can get loads of business and referrals from multiple businesses easily. Here's the thing though, that gold mine, that requires different skills than the ones that you've been told to use. My dad and his mates, they aren't on LinkedIn. They don't go networking, and they certainly don't want or need HR. So what's the solution? Simple. Click the link in the comments and secure your spot for my free live event next month. You'll discover a simple way to get all the leads and clients you ever need for your HR consultancy. And the idea of wasting time networking or posting on LinkedIn, that will become laughable for you. So trust me when I say this, because this piece of advice is gold. Much better than suggesting to do people in, right? So click the link in the comments and grab your ticket today. Bye for now.